This morning I had an unexpected hour-long phone call with our Department of Home Affairs Chief of Staff. So shout out to Lisa for the impromptu meeting. We managed to rattle through quite a bit. Before I go through what we discussed, I'm going to read a media statement that she sent me. This was issued yesterday, 31st of July, by the Border Management Authority. So a lot of you have been messaging me and sending me the screenshots of that letter doing the rounds with regards to travel in and out of South Africa for South African citizens. And this is a response to this. So BMA clarifies the Citizenship Act as it relates to entry and exit rules for South African citizens. The Commissioner of the Border Management Authority, Dr. Michael Masiapato, has noted a widely circulated message that claiming that a new law effective from May 2025 requires all persons born in South Africa to enter and exit into the country solely using a South African passport, and that failure to comply will result in fines, arrest, or criminal records. The BMA would like to categorically state that this claim is false and misleading. No new laws have been implemented in May 2025 relating to the entry or exit of South African citizens. The existing legal position remains unchanged and continues to be governed by the South African Citizenship Act 1995 as amended, which outlines that South African citizens are expected to enter and depart South Africa using their valid South African passport, even if they hold dual citizenship. In the event that a South African citizen's passport expired whilst they were abroad, they are advised to approach the nearest South African embassy to apply for and obtain an emergency travel certificate, an ETC. However, in the event that they were not able to obtain an ETC, they will not be refused entry into the country, provided they have a form of South African identity in their possession at the time. However, there is no new enforcement directive on solely using a South African passport, fine structure, or arrest policy introduced in 2025 as claimed in the false message. We urge the public to verify all travel and immigration related information through official government platforms such as Department of Home Affairs and the Border Management Authority before acting on viral messages or unverified sources. Please note that the Commissioner, Michael Masiapato, will host a media briefing this Sunday, the 3rd of August, to provide information and updates on border operations, including the official unveiling of the new BMA immigration security tools, which are part of ongoing efforts to enhance border integrity and document authenticity. The BMA remains committed to transparency, secure borders, and facilitating lawful travel. We encourage South Africans abroad and travellers to South Africa to remain calm, ignore sensationalized messages, and rely solely on information, on official communication for accurate updates. Before I rattle off, and I know I've got a limited 10 minutes to do this, I do just want to read an email that I received about an hour ago. So from the Department of Home Affairs, just questioning a little bit on ETCs, on emergency travel certificates. So if you live abroad, you're supposed to go through due process and get a passport. If there's extenuating circumstances and where it's genuinely an emergency, like a medical emergency, you've got someone on their deathbed or has passed away in South Africa, and you don't have a South African passport, in cases like that, they will typically issue. So, firstly, an ETC may not be issued where the applicant has never applied for an ID. So I'm not going to read that out because that's pertaining a specific case. So my question was, does DIRCO consular staff have the power to decide if they will issue an ETC or not? She says they do. The emergency travel certificate is intended for genuine urgent situations, not as a convenience. There is no list of specific emergency situations. The official at the Foreign Mission has discretion. It was noticed to a large extent that some South Africans became very relaxed and negligent as they failed to check the validity of their passports. So getting an ETC isn't just an excuse, oh, well, I was too lazy to get my passport. The processing period for an ETC is 3 working days. It can be issued in 1 to 3 working days, depending on the responsiveness of the whole process. And then just saying if we're experiencing difficulties to please contact this particular person directly. So right, I'm going to jump onto the meeting now. I'm just conscious of rattling this off in a few minutes. So diving into the reinstatement portal, basically 2 months. They were also hoping to have it launched in June. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They are wanting to, basically, Lisa was explaining to me, they have a lot, and I think we really have to factor in the enormity of what they have to deal with. So they've been in office now for a year, this new ministerial team, and it is looking at, they have to deal with 30 years of mismanagement, not sticking to, updating technology and all the rest of it. So we have to be conscious of just how much work is going on behind the scenes, just how much of a hard job they have, and being realistic with timeframes. It is going to take probably a good 3 years to kind of unravel and get up to speed from the last 30 years. So reinstatement portal, hopefully in 2 months. It's the 1st of August now, so hopefully come end of September, beginning of October. They want to make sure that when you go onto the portal, you can pop in your ID number and it will compare your ID number to the National Population Register, and it'll say, yes, you are a citizen, in which case you don't have to do anything. You can just go and get your apply for documents. If not, you will have to then go through the reinstatement process. So VFS, with the rollouts of the new VFS services in other countries, this is an interim process. Now, I've been lobbying and trying to highlight problems with VFS issues here in the UK for the last year now. They are aware of it. It's an interim thing for the next couple of years. So a lot of you would have seen Minister Schreiber's talking about having Home Affairs at home, where you can log on in the comfort of your own home, apply for a document, and it's couriered directly to you. That is the ultimate game. That is what they're working towards. But there's a lot of things that they have to tick boxes for and go through the legal hoops and all the rest of it before they can get to that stage. So pretty much for the next 3 years, there's a whole lot of interim stuff that they're trying to put in place to help deal with the frustrations whilst they are trying to roll out these changes that are coming. So they are currently doing fingerprint training for VFS officials in the UK again. A lot of you coming to me with fingerprint rejection issues. They are starting to roll out from September a pilot for electronic travel authorizations. So for those of you who may not be aware, you have, if you are not a South African citizen, you have a visa exempt country list, and then you have countries that are not on that list. So visa exempt meaning you rock up in South Africa and they will issue you either a 30-day or 90-day tourist visa, depending on which country passport you're holding. Not all countries are on that list, so they have to apply for a visa before travel. And I've come across a number of cases where that's been an issue. People can't get responses, can't get their visas approved in time. So this will be a facial recognition technology which will help on that side of things. They're hoping to roll out eHome Affairs over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. Just touching base on what's happening back in South Africa. They have 30 bank branches currently. They're looking to roll out 100 by March and 1,000 over the next 3 years, focusing primarily on rural areas first. Not all rural areas have access to a Home Affairs office, but generally they do have reasonable access to a bank. So using banks to be able to process applications and things. So that is positive. Not all Home Affairs offices in SA have e-capture capabilities, so they're using mobile trucks. So quite a lot of stuff happening on home soil as well. VFS. She mentioned VFS can do birth certificates. It's something that's new. I don't know the details. I'll try and find out the details of that. Smart card IDs, I know, is a big one for all of you abroad. They are very aware. They will not just stop producing the green barcoded books when those of us abroad still cannot apply for the smart card IDs. They are hoping within the next 12 months. It's very difficult. You know, there's so many moving parts. So they can't stick to exact timelines, but hopefully by middle of next year, 2026, those of us abroad will be able to apply for smart cards, at which point they will stop producing the green barcoded ID books, but they will still accept the green barcoded ID books for a few years to come, because they need to allow sufficient time for people to be able to switch over onto the smart cards. Overstays, I have asked her to please look into the backlog of overstay issues, of overstay bans. And I'm just trying to think. So yeah, it's all kind of just understanding they have huge fiscal constraints, budget constraints, IT capacity. So it does seem like there is a lot going on behind the scenes. And I just want to double check if there's anything else major that I have. Being able to apply for an ID and a passport at the same time. I'm getting mixed messages from a lot of you. Some saying you're told that you have to get the ID first, especially for like child, first adult, first ID, first adult passport. You should be able to apply for ID and passport at the same time at your foreign missions. I'm running out of time. I will keep you guys updated on any developments as and when they happen.